Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Today I've got a video about the NFL. I've got what do you want to go by?
Icy Justice
Icy Justice.
is my YouTube channel right now.
Yeah.
How are we gonna change
You
it?
should change it to like Justice or something.
Yeah.
NFL or I don't know. Justice Kramer NFL or something.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be talking about the free agent signings that have been happening. At least some of them. I might split them up into other videos to multiple smaller ones so that I have more content and not one 8-hour video. But first we're going to talk about TJ Edwards. The Bears signed him to a 3 years, $19.5 million contract that includes $12 million guaranteed, and he'll play middle linebacker, as he was the first signing that I saw that was at least notable. There was probably a couple that were like UDFAs or just random nobodies that were signed to, but we're mostly going to be talking about guys that you will recognize when you see their names.
Yeah.
Next up, we're going to be talking about Tremaine Edmonds. And
Bills
he got
to the Bears.
He got a bag. 4 years, $72 million, $50 million guaranteed.
Wait, is he a safety or a linebacker?
He's a linebacker. He'll play weak side linebacker, and he's
gonna be a big benefit for the Bears defense.
He's
like a top 10 linebacker, right?
Yeah, he's a really good pass defense. He's a really good coverage linebacker. He can cover receivers.
And he's quick. On Madden, he's the fastest on the team.
He's a very fast linebacker who able to range the field, has freakish athleticism, and should be a big signing to help with the Bears linebacking core. We're also going to be talking about Nate Davis, who went to the Chicago Bears, who's getting 3 years for $30 million.
Lineman, right?
Yeah, he's played right guard throughout his year. The Bears already have a right guard, so they'll have to figure out who's going to play left and who's going to play right guard, and if they're going to cut Cody Whitehair or not, which I think they should. And
wait,
they could kick Tevin Jenkins out to right tackle. If they wanted to, but I think that they're probably going to go with Davis at either right guard or Jenkins at right guard, and then the other will play at the other spot, and then they'll probably try to sign like an Orlando Brown or Caleb McGarry or somebody, draft somebody like, I don't know, what's his name, Paris Johnson Jr. to play left tackle with Braxton Jones at right tackle.
Next, we got a pretty big one. It's a quarterback, Jimmy G, finally getting off the bench and going to the Raiders. He's going to start, I'm pretty sure, right?
Yeah, he should at least the first year.
And they have Darren Waller gone now.
He's been traded to the
New York Giants.
Yeah, and we'll be discussing that in another video. That's a whole different story. But he's getting 3 years for $67.5 million. Only $34 million guaranteed, so if they want to cut him after the second year, they can for pretty much for not as much consequence.
I wonder how he's gonna perform in Las Vegas.
I don't see him doing much better than he did in San Francisco.
Yeah, he's got Devontae Adams.
Now he has Jacoby Myers.
Yeah. Wait, do they still have Hunter Renfrow?
Yeah.
Oh.
But they don't have a tight end.
Yeah, Darren Waller's gone.
And their offensive line, I don't think their offensive line is very good.
Yeah.
Next up, we'll talk about Jamal Dean, who gets a 4-year, $52 million deal. Who he gets $13 million per year, and the report came out and said that he actually took less money to go to the Bucs rather than go somewhere else because he just wanted to stay in Tampa. I'm not sure why, because Tampa seems to be like they're in rebuild mode. They want to try to tear things down and try to restart their franchise, but I guess they're probably going to try to keep going with some of their core pieces and figure out the rest of their cap space room.
Next, we got another quarterback one. We got Sam Darnold to the Niners. That's pretty crazy. I think Trey Lance is gonna start over him, honestly.
Yeah, and Brock Purdy. Him and Brock. I
Yeah,
think
once he heals up.
Purdy will probably miss like the first week or two.
And it's for a year. For how much?
I'm not sure how much he's getting paid. It's probably came out, but when I put this together, his money was not known yet.
It's identified, yeah.
But it's a 1-year deal. My guess is he'll be the backup until Purdy comes back, and Lance will probably be the starter.
I bet Purdy and Lance will be like battling, and then
Yeah.
I feel like one of them's gonna get injured, and then they're gonna try out Sam Darnold or something weird.
Yeah, I think Lance starts week 1, and then I think he has a better chance to start most of the year than anybody that they do have,
Yeah.
because he's the healthiest guy they have, and if he plays well, then Brock Purdy's not going to get a chance because he was their number 3 pick.
Another guy.
You don't just let a 7th round rookie play over your number 3 overall pick.
Another guy that we
He's
have
playing well.
that's like just as bad as Sam Darnold is.
He's a little bit better.
We got Mike White. 2 years, $16 million to the Dolphins.
He'll be the backup for Tua in case that he
Tua's
gets
gonna
injured.
die, bro.
If he gets injured, then he's gonna be the backup.
He could hit his head on a locker and just.
Mike White is serviceable. He's not. You don't want him to be starting full time, but he can start a game or two, and you'll be able to at least survive. And be
Yeah, he
fine.
was popping off on the Jets at one time.
He had a couple really good games for the Jets.
For some weird reason, he hasn't played forever.
Next up, we got Mike McGlinchey. He's going to the Broncos. I think he's gonna play right tackle. I'm not
5
sure.
years,
Maybe left tackle.
$87.5 million. 5 years.
$50 million is guaranteed. So the Broncos had one of the worst offensive lines in the NFL, and they're trying to address that with a couple signings that they made on the first day of free agency with him and another guy we'll be talking about really soon here. But he was decent. He's going to get a lot of money because there's not very many offensive linemen out there, and there's teams that really do need them. Next up, we'll be talking about Javon Hargrave, who got 4 years, $84 million. He's going to the 49ers. Only $40 million is guaranteed, so if he does not play well his first 2 years,
4 years.
then they'll be able to cut him for no real price, and he can go somewhere else. But I think he's a great signing, and the 49ers defense just gets better and better.
Yeah, best in the league.
I think, I don't know. I don't see much weakness. I think their only question mark might be in the secondary after losing Jimmy Ward.
They got Fred Warner, Nick Bosa. Their line's pretty good, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, their line's great. Their front seven's great. And then,
They got any, corners?
that's what I'm saying. They might be their weakness. I'm
They're
not
probably
sure.
going to pick up a corner in the draft.
Yeah. Or maybe they'll sign one or something.
Yeah.
Because they did free up some money.
Yeah.
Ben Powers is going to the Broncos with Mike McGlinchey. He's getting 4 years for $52 million. That's the same deal that Jamal Dean got to go to the Bucs, but he's probably, I think he's a right guard. I know he plays guard. I'm not sure if he's left or right. But it's another good signing for Denver to help out their quarterback in his second year in Denver, and Russell Wilson to try to fix him and make him the quarterback he used to be. Next up, we got Jonathan Jones, who's getting 2 years, $19 million to stay with New England. He was very good last year for the Patriots. Good special teams. He played good on defense too. I think he was the guy. It was either him or Jack Jones. I always confuse them because they're Jones and they're corners and play on the same team. And it was one of them that had a massive kick return to beat the Jets on the last play of the game. But yeah, probably a good signing for New England. Last year they weren't able to retain. I forgot his name. He went to the Chargers. J.C. Jackson. They weren't able to retain him, so it's good for them to retain Jonathan Jones this time around.
Next, we got Jimmy Ward signing with the Texans. The Texans really needed
The Texans
something.
have so many 49ers players on their team because they hired their defensive coordinator in...
What pick do they have in the draft?
They have the number 2 pick, so they'll probably be
They're going to
drafting
get a
quarterback.
quarterback. Anthony Richardson, maybe
I
Stroud.
think it's either Stroud or Richardson or Young. Whoever, probably it's between Richardson and Young, whoever's left over.
Stroud's probably going to go first overall
I
with
think
the
I think
Panthers.
it's Stroud or Young is going first, and then Richardson, if they
He's
really...
got to go second.
I think the
He
reason why...
performed good in the combine.
The 49ers were heavily involved in Jimmy Garoppolo. I think they see something in Anthony Richardson. So if they can get somebody who is able to start for a year, Richardson isn't able to start next year because he is very raw. He doesn't know much about the game. He's very inexperienced.
Fresh out of college.
Yeah, but the difference is between him and some rookies like Stroud and Young. They have more big game experience, and they're not as raw as Anthony Richardson is.
Yeah.
They don't have big boomer bust potential, and sitting for a year might be a good thing.
Next, we got the slant demon, Michael Thomas, slant boy. Derek Carr is going to be throwing the slant boy after his injury, and they cut him. So
Yeah, he's got quite the
he hasn't
receiving
played in
core.
a while, right?
He hasn't. If he's
1 year for $10 million.
which is 1 year, prove it. If you can prove that you can stay healthy, we'll give you an extension that's good. We'll give you some money, but right now, if he can stay healthy, he's still a very good receiver and can produce a lot and help the Saints.
In his prime, he was insane.
He broke the record for most catches in an NFL season. He was really that guy for a while there.
Mm-hmm.
Taylor Heineke is going to the Falcons for 2 years and $20 million. This is probably
That means the Commanders are gonna start
Sam Howell. Yeah, unless they get somebody else like in the
I could
draft.
see them getting someone else.
If they trade up to the draft or something.
Yeah. 2 years.
Heineke's
20
going
million.
to either probably compete with Desmond Ridder, and my guess is that they'll give Desmond Ridder the job, but he'll probably compete with him.
I bet they're gonna trade away Mariota.
Oh, he's a free agent, so they already cut
They're not
him.
gonna re-sign him.
He had some off the field issues. Once he got benched, he left the facilities and refused to play as a backup, and so
I bet a crappy team's gonna like pick him up.
some
What if the
team
Texans
will make him a backup. Jacoby Myers is going to the Raiders, 3 years for $33 million, $11 million per year. And that just makes their team better. Gives another weapon to Jimmy Garoppolo.
The Raiders are building up. I get they got what did the Giants sign Darren Waller or did they do
The
a
Giants
trade?
trade for him.
We'll talk about that in a different video.
Yeah.
I wonder what they got though.
Yeah, I gotta check that update. But Jacoby Myers he's a good second receiver. I don't think he's a one. I don't think he's as good as like
Devontae Adams.
He's not a number one receiver. He's a really good two though, and he fits the Josh McDaniels scheme in Las Vegas with Jimmy Garoppolo, both former Patriots, both played under Bill Belichick, or I guess McDaniel didn't, or I forget what was his. Is his name? I think it's Josh McDaniels. So yeah, he was the offensive coordinator. Jimmy Garoppolo was the backup to Tom Brady at the time, and Jacoby Myers was actually, I don't think he ever played with Jimmy Garoppolo, but they both fit the same scheme. Marcus Epps is going to the Raiders as well. He's getting,
what position does he play?
he plays like a safety. I'm not sure. I think he's a free safety. He'll play coverage more often. Like
Did Bobby
deep
Wagner get
third
traded yet?
safety. He's a free agent. He hasn't signed anywhere yet. He talked to the Cowboys. I'm not sure if he'll go there or not. It's probably a possibility.
With Micah.
Yeah. but he's getting most of his contract guaranteed. I think he's getting like $10 million in guaranteed money.
I already wrote this one down.
Yeah. And he's played pretty well for the Eagles, and just another addition for the Raiders. David Long Jr. is going to the Dolphins. 2 years, $11 million a year, or total 5.5 a year. He'll play linebacker, and Dolphins just keep adding. Want to know what they need this year? They need defense. They're going all in. They're going.
They still got Xavier Howard.
Yeah, they just traded for Jalen Ramsey.
Oh.
They got really good corners. They got Javon Holland as a safety. They might be a safety away. They might need another pass rusher or a defensive tackle. But they do have a 3-4 scheme, so they might not need another defensive tackle to start at least. So, yeah, they're looking really good right now. Few pieces left. I think the Dolphins said they're going to roll with Jeff Wilson and...
That's sports card investor
Raheem,
guy.
No, Raheem Mostert and Jeff Wilson, the running backs, who
They could pick up Eckler.
Both former 49ers. He could go to the Chargers, but I think other teams are probably more heavily involved. We'll talk about that more in our next video.
Going.
He's going somewhere. He might stay as a Charger. I could see that too, if they get something done. Alex Singleton, a linebacker, is going to be re-signing with the Broncos.
Should the Lions got yet?
What'd you say?
The Lions got yet?
Did they get who?
The guy that got the guy that went to the Lions, or was that a trade?
Who?
Forget his name. Like it was on Instagram. Like the guy.
Oh yeah, Cameron Sutton.
Oh.
He's a corner. We'll talk about him pretty soon. 3 years, $18 million, 9 guaranteed. It's a 2+1. So after his second year, they can cut him with just about any being okay with it. But next we'll be talking about Bobby Okereke, and he's getting 4 years for $40 million, $10 million a year, $22 million guaranteed, and he's signing with the New York Giants, who have made some good moves so far this offseason. Also, Patrick Peterson's going to the Steelers for 2 years. I didn't get the money or the guaranteed money or any of the money part, but he should be a good corner. He could probably fit their secondary pretty well. He's getting up there in age. I remember he was very good with the Arizona Cardinals.
Jesse Bates.
You got it. And then he should play pretty good. But if not, I think he's getting not as much guaranteed money in case they want to cut him after the first year.
Next we got Jesse Bates, the safety. He went to the Falcons. I feel like he's gonna do good there. I mean, the Falcons are also building up some.
He got a good amount of money. 4 years, $65 million. $23 million he's got heavily front-loaded contract, so it's like he's getting $16 per year, but he's getting $23 million in his first year, and then other years he'll get paid less. Next up, we got Von Bell, who was also a safety for the Bengals last season. He was their strong safety, while Jesse Bates was their free safety. They both played pretty well last year, especially Bates, but Von Bell was pretty good too. And yeah, he's definitely good, big pickup for the Panthers. Next up, we got Andrew Wiley. He's going to the Commanders for 3 years, $24 million, $8 per year, who was a Chiefs tackle who played probably the opposite tackle position for the Commanders. I'm not sure on that, but the Chiefs do have some spots to fill on the offensive line with Orlando Brown going and Andrew Wiley going. Jawan Taylor, though, they did replace him with Jawan Taylor, who's got 4 years for $80 million, and it's a 3+1 type of deal, so $60 million guaranteed after 3 years. If they don't want him, they can cut him and free up $20 million in cap space. And yeah, but he's more of a run blocking tackle. He's not very good in pass block last year, but he can definitely get better with the Chiefs. Cameron Sutton's going to the Lions for 3 years, $33 million, $11 per year.
They needed a linebacker. I mean, they got
corner.
Oh,
They don't need they
need
a
a corner.
because Jeff Okudah.
Malcolm Rodriguez is a good linebacker, I guess.
He's decent. Jeff Okudah's decent.
He's okay. Like,
I don't know if he's a 1 or a 2. He might be like a 3 or a 2. Cameron Sutton is a high end 2, maybe a low end 1. So they might be
pretty
looking a lot better there.
Yeah.
At
I mean,
corner.
they got like on like the line and like the linebackers and like somewhat safeties are all right, I guess. But corners they did need another corner other than Okudah, which is only like a 2.
Yeah, 2 at best.
Yeah.
We
already mentioned that. Jimmy Ward.
Did I talk about Jimmy Ward?
Yeah, we did. It was.
I don't think I did.
We did. I did.
Yeah.
And then.
Yeah, you did.
Did we go over Eric Kendricks?
No, we didn't. Eric Kendricks is going to the Los Angeles Chargers. I'm not sure on his contract, but he he's had a pretty good career with the Vikings. Consistent, really good tackler. Really good in coverage too. He's not as good as like he's not as the tier of like a Tremaine Edmonds, but he's like a tier or 2 below, kind of the T.J. Edwards mold, but at a different position. He plays more on the outside as a linebacker. He can cover. So, yeah. Next up, we're going to be talking about one of the first 3 techs, the second 3 tech defensive tackle that we have seen other than Javon Hargrave, who was the first, is Draymond Jones, who is going to Seattle Seahawks, who have a really good young core that are building around Kenneth Walker, Geno Smith, and
Seahawks
and their receivers such as DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett, who had a great season last year. Tyler Lockett
proved that he can maybe be a wide receiver 1.
Yeah, he's a low end 1.
Yeah. DK is better, but I'm just saying, like, if he
DK didn't have that good of a year this year. Tyler Lockett had a better
the last
year.
few years
DK usually has been better, but not this year. Geno Smith was really good with Tyler Lockett in particular.
Geno Smith just came out of nowhere, dude. Like,
he was probably the story of the season.
Everyone thought Drew Lock was gonna be there, like Seahawks jersey, Broncos jersey.
Yeah.
But then Geno Smith just came out of nowhere and just put on a show.
Yeah, he's getting 3 years. Draymond Jones is getting 3 years, $51 million. Their defense is good. It's just getting better. They have that young guy that they just drafted.
What happened to Jamal Adams?
He's still on the team. I think he just got caught up in injuries there. Who's a box type of safety who he's not very good in coverage, but he plays kind of like a linebacker. He's a hard-hitting, good tackling type of safety.
Then we got Rashad Penny.
But also, we're going to just keep talking about Seattle for a little bit because...
Okay.
Because Draymond Jones is probably of the second tier, the third tier of defensive tackles that are 3 techs that are in this free agency. Javon Hargrave and guys like him and he was probably the top one. Deron Payne was the top. Second was probably Javon Hargrave and then Draymond Jones. Lastly, we'll be talking about Rashad Penny, who just signed. I think he went to the Panthers.
What team was he on?
He was on the Seahawks. He was like their second or third running back, but...
Oh, yeah. I actually know him. I actually remember.
Yeah. We're done with all that. Thank you guys for watching, and hope you guys enjoy content with him. See you guys in the next one.